A man in an expensive suit threw hot coffee in a soldier's face at a Starbucks. "You military people think you own everything," he yelled. The soldier wearing his army uniform didn't fight back. He just stood there, coffee dripping from his face. What that man didn't know, the soldier he just assaulted was Medal of Honor recipient Sergeant David Torres, a decorated war hero. And the Starbucks manager watching everything? That was David's younger brother, Marcus. In the next 15 minutes, that man went from laughing to getting arrested. This story will show you why you should never judge someone by their appearance, and why disrespecting our veterans is the worst mistake you can make. Before we get into this powerful story, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss more stories about respect, justice, and people getting exactly what they deserve. Now let's see what happened. David Torres was 32 years old. He joined the Army at 18, right after high school. His family was poor, and the military gave him a chance at a better life. He served 3 tours in Afghanistan, leading his unit through some of the most dangerous missions. 2 years ago, David saved 7 soldiers during an ambush. He was shot twice but refused to leave until every member of his team was safe. For his bravery, he received the Medal of Honor, the highest military decoration in America. Now David was home, recovering from his injuries. He still wore his uniform with pride. Today, he just wanted a simple cup of coffee before visiting the VA hospital for his physical therapy appointment. Brandon Cole was 38 years old. He was a real estate investor who had made millions buying and selling properties. He drove a Mercedes, wore expensive suits, and looked down on anyone he thought was beneath him. Brandon had never served in the military. He got out of the draft through a medical exemption his wealthy father paid for. Deep down, Brandon felt guilty about this. But instead of respecting those who served, he turned that guilt into anger and resentment. When Brandon saw people in military uniforms, it reminded him of his own cowardice. So he attacked them with words, trying to make himself feel superior. It was 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. The Starbucks on Main Street was packed with people getting coffee before work. David walked in, his army uniform crisp and clean, his limp barely visible from his leg injury. The manager behind the counter, Marcus Torres, saw his brother and smiled. Marcus was 28, and he was so proud of David. Their mother had died when they were young, and David had practically raised Marcus while also serving his country. Brandon Cole was already in line, impatient and annoyed. He had an important meeting and was running late. When David walked in and joined the line, Brandon immediately noticed the uniform. His face twisted with anger. The line moved slowly. David stood quietly, checking his phone. Brandon was right in front of him, tapping his foot and sighing loudly. When the barista called for the next customer, Brandon stepped forward. But so did an elderly woman who had been waiting by the pickup counter. She had simply moved to let someone pass. "Excuse me, I was next," the woman said politely. Brandon spun around. "Lady, I don't have time for this. Move!" David stepped forward. "Sir, she was here first." There's no rush. Brandon's eyes locked onto David's uniform. His expression turned from annoyed to hostile. "Oh, great. A soldier. Here to tell me what to do. You people think you're heroes, but you're just government employees with guns." The Starbucks went quiet. Everyone turned to look. David stayed calm. "I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying she was next in line." "I don't care," Brandon snapped. "I have an important meeting. She can wait. You can wait. Everyone can wait for me." Marcus, behind the counter, called out, "Sir, please calm down. We'll serve everyone." Brandon ignored him and pushed past the elderly woman to order his coffee. While Brandon waited for his coffee, he couldn't let it go. He kept glancing at David, his anger building. "You know what's wrong with this country?" Brandon said loudly, addressing the whole Starbucks. "We worship soldiers like they're special. They're not. They signed up for a paycheck just like everyone else." A few people gasped. One man said, "Dude, that's disrespectful." David still didn't respond. He had learned in the military that some battles aren't worth fighting with words. He just waited quietly for his turn. But Brandon wasn't done. When the barista handed him his hot coffee, he walked past David deliberately slowly. "You know what really bothers me?" Brandon said, stopping right next to David. "People like you get free coffee, free meals, discounts everywhere. For what? Doing your job? I don't get discounts for doing my job. I didn't ask for anything free. David said quietly. I'm paying for my coffee. Oh, you're paying, Brandon mocked. With what? Your government salary? We taxpayers fund your life. You work for me. Marcus stepped out from behind the counter. Sir, that's my brother. He's a Medal of Honor recipient. He saved 7 lives. Show some respect. Brandon laughed. Medal of Honor? Participation trophy. Everyone gets one these days. That's when Brandon made his fatal mistake. He looked at David's face, at the coffee in his own hand, and made a decision. In front of 20 witnesses, Brandon threw his hot coffee directly at David's face. The coffee hit David square in the face and chest. The liquid was scalding hot. David gasped, stumbling backward, his hands going to his face. That's what I think of you and your service, Brandon said. The Starbucks erupted. Multiple people shouted. The elderly woman screamed. Marcus vaulted over the counter. But David, even in pain, held up his hand to stop his brother. Marcus, don't! Call the police. Brandon smirked. Call them. I'll tell them you threatened me. Who do you think they'll believe? A rich businessman or a broken soldier? He turned to walk out, completely confident he would face no consequences. That's when everything changed. Before Brandon could reach the door, it swung open. 2 police officers walked in for their morning coffee. Officer Jenkins and Officer Martinez were regulars. They knew Marcus, and they knew David. Officer Jenkins had served with him in Afghanistan years ago. David, Jenkins said, then saw the coffee all over him. What happened? Marcus pointed at Brandon. That man just assaulted my brother, threw hot coffee in his face. Everyone here saw it. Brandon's face went white. He hadn't expected police to be right there. Officers, this is a misunderstanding, Brandon started. I saw the whole thing, the elderly woman interrupted. That man threw coffee at the soldier for no reason. He was rude, disrespectful, and violent. I have it on video, a college student said, holding up her phone. I was filming for Instagram when it happened. Got everything. Officer Martinez walked to Brandon. Sir, I need you to step outside. Do you know who I am? Brandon said, his voice rising. I own 3 buildings in this city. I know the mayor. You can't arrest me for assault? Jenkins finished. Yes, we can. Turn around and put your hands behind your back. As Martinez handcuffed Brandon, Jenkins walked over to David. You okay, brother? I'm fine, David said. It's just coffee. No, it's assault, Jenkins said firmly. He turned to look at Brandon. Do you know who you just attacked? Brandon said nothing. This is Sergeant David Torres, Medal of Honor recipient. He saved my life in Kandahar. He saved 7 members of our unit during an ambush. He took 2 bullets doing it. And you threw coffee in his face? Jenkins' voice was shaking with anger. Sir, you're not just being charged with assault. You attacked a decorated war hero. That changes things. The college student spoke up. Officers, I'm posting this video online. Everyone should see how he treated this soldier. Brandon finally understood the gravity of his mistake. Wait, I didn't know. You didn't know because you didn't care, Marcus said. You saw a soldier and immediately disrespected him. His medals don't matter. His service doesn't matter. What matters is you thought you could treat another human being like garbage. As the officers led Brandon out in handcuffs, every person in that Starbucks started clapping. For David, for respect, for justice. Brandon Cole was arrested and charged with assault. The video went viral within hours. His face throwing coffee at a soldier was shared millions of times across social media. # Respect Our Veterans started trending. The video showed everything. Brandon's insults, the coffee throw, and his arrogant attempt to walk away. Comments flooded in from around the world. This makes me sick. That soldier sacrificed everything, and this coward attacks him. Throwing coffee at a Medal of Honor recipient? He deserves everything coming to him. This is why character matters more than money. Brandon's business partners saw the video. 3 of them immediately ended their partnerships. His real estate deals started falling through. The mayor he claimed to know publicly condemned his actions. Within 24 hours, Brandon Cole had lost $2 million in canceled contracts and partnerships. David gave one interview to a local news station. The reporter asked if he was angry. I'm not angry, David said. I'm disappointed. I served this country so people like him could have the freedom to disrespect me. That's what freedom means. But freedom also means facing consequences for your actions. Would you accept an apology from him? The reporter asked. I would, David said. But an apology would mean he learned something. I don't think he has. The interview was viewed over 5 million times. People praised David's calm dignity and his wisdom. Brandon tried apologizing on social media. I made a terrible mistake. I was stressed and acted inappropriately. I deeply apologized to Sergeant Torres and all veterans. But the apology felt empty. People could see it was about saving his reputation, not genuine remorse. The judge set his bail at $50,000. Brandon paid it easily, but the court case would haunt him for months. His lawyer told him he could face up to a year in jail and a $10,000 fine. More importantly, his reputation was destroyed. Every time someone Googled his name, the video appeared. Brandon Cole became known as the man who threw coffee at a war hero. 6 months later, Brandon had to sell one of his buildings to cover his losses. His Mercedes was repossessed. The lawsuit David's lawyer filed was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount, rumored to be over $200,000. This story spread across America as a reminder of what respect means. David Torres didn't ask for special treatment, he just wanted coffee. But when Brandon attacked him, he revealed his own character, or lack of it. Schools use the story to teach students about respect and consequences. Churches discussed it in sermons about humility. Military bases shared it as an example of dignity under pressure. The Starbucks where it happened put up a plaque. We honor all who serve. Respect is always free here. Marcus Torres said in an interview, "My brother didn't fight for respect. He fought for freedom. But that doesn't mean people get to disrespect him without consequences." Brandon learned that the hard way. The final lesson is simple. Treat everyone with respect, especially those who served and sacrificed for your freedom. You never know who you're talking to. That person in uniform might be a hero. And even if they're not, they deserve your respect simply because they served. Character is revealed in how you treat people who can't fight back. David couldn't fight back without consequences. Brandon thought that made him powerful. Instead, it exposed him as a coward. If this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel right now. We share real stories about justice, respect, and karma. Drop a comment. Have you ever witnessed someone disrespecting our veterans? How did you respond? Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss when someone learns respect the hard way. Thanks for watching. And remember, respect costs nothing, but disrespect can cost everything. See you in the next story.